Are you ready for Sharks Night Shift? Good evening. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Especially after another 5-2 defeat. These are the ones where I know the true fans are tuning in. I think I'm ready. Let's go.
Broadcasting live and worldwide. Here's Brody Brazil.
Wait for it. Hey, we're on over there. And we're on over here. What? There's two audio sources playing here. What was going on there? Oh, no.
Broadcasting live and
no.
worldwide. Here's Brody Brazil.
I feel like maybe I'm making mistakes to show you that everybody's human, just like players on a hockey team are human, and they're searching for answers just like I can't even push buttons here to start a live stream. So we're all on the losing side tonight. I feel like I've already lost the stream 5-2. 5 straight defeats to start San Jose's hockey season. Now, we knew this was a process. It was a project. It was something that would take time. I don't think anybody was expecting a winless start to their season like this. Even some frustrations boiling over tonight. I'm going to play you the clip of Nico Sturm in case you missed it on Postgame Live. I'll let you hear what David Quinn had to say. Used a certain F word to describe his team. No, come on. Maybe I shouldn't have sold it like that. Not that one. But used a word that, hockey players, they know that's a button being pushed. And you've got to understand and sense some frustration in a bunch of new people trying to make good first impressions. Nico, one of them. He was just on the Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche. David Quinn, his second head coaching opportunity in the National Hockey League. Mike Greer's watching all of this from near and far. And everybody's trying to put a good early stamp on this, but 0-5, and the way games are playing out. Usually, decent start. Really rough second period, and then the inability to get anything going in the third period. Sharks have been outscoring their opponents in the first 5 games 6-1 in the first periods. They've scored the first goal 4 straight games now. You know the math. Generally, you win about 70% of NHL games where you score first. That's just what the numbers say, and that goes back a lot of teams and a lot of years. Generally, you will win about 70% of the time when you light the lamp first, and they've been doing that. So what happens from there? Nico talked about it in his interview, which, again, I will play for you. You have to expect a pushback by opponents or strategy changes or the fact that you cannot rest on a 1-goal lead or even a 2-goal lead like they've had against Chicago on Saturday night. Second periods, getting outscored 12-2. I mean, there's 2 things to focus on here. No goals in the third period yet this season. 5 games, no third period goals. They've been outscored 6-0. And yes, some empty netters thrown in there too, but it's less about what opponents have scored in the third versus the Sharks have yet to even score a third period goal. We could also look at the lack of scoring by different lines. 3 straight games, no top 3 line has scored a goal, if you want to call them that. And you're looking at like Timo Meier, another 3 shots tonight. He's been averaging 4 or 5 shots per game. Little snake bit, still looking for that first goal of the season. I hate to pinpoint different areas. How about the power play? Now 1 for 19 after going 0 for 3 tonight on the man advantage. They're getting these opportunities. They're getting these chances. They're drawing these penalties and just not able to do anything with them. And on the flip side, right, I thought Kaapo Kähkönen on Saturday night, even though the Hawks scored 5, I thought he played pretty well. I thought he gave the Sharks at least his best effort, and they put him in some rough situations, 2-on-1s, 1-on-nones. But I thought, like tonight, for example, James Reimer made 40 stops, allowed 4 goals. Like you see the 5, 1 was at empty netter. First off, the Anders Lee tip on the Adam Pelech shot, that was an unbelievably skillful play. And how about the Oliver Wahlstrom's the second goal, where he went far side over Reimer's right shoulder from Reimer's left side. It was an unbelievable snipe. I mean, you how many times in a row could he do that or score that way? Same thing with Anders Lee. Like, hit the redirect with one hand on the stick. You saw the highlight. So 2 of the 4 goals, unbelievably skillful plays. But again, if you're only going to score 2 every night, if you're the Sharks, how many times are you going to give yourself a chance to win? They're scoring, and I've got this memorized. Their scoring by game goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. They've yet to net 3 in a single game this season. And so there it is right there. I mean, defense has been rough in certain spots, shabby in others. It's been good. On the penalty kill, it's been perfect still. But lack of scoring is what's going to it's going to bite this team, quite honestly. And it has been. I apologize in advance for the quality of this, like just the video quality, but I want you to listen to it more than anything else anyway. This is Nico Sturm's reaction, and I'll play the entire clip here and then have some response to it in just a second. But here's Nico on our post-game show moments ago.
Just keep it simple. I know our line. I think we all know we're not the most skilled guys out there, and we're just trying to play it to our strength. I think all 3 of us can skate really well, and Gaj and I are 2 bigger bodies, so we just try to get the puck in and play to our advantages. Like, we're not gonna go out there and dangle anybody. We're not gonna have a ton of success like that.
What's this? I mean, you just come off of winning the Stanley Cup. What has this experience been like so far?
It sucks. I mean, I think, I don't know, gotta look back. Haven't been on a losing team, I think since my first year of juniors, and not really something I'm used to. I don't like it. So we just talked about it. We don't have a lot of time. The hole's getting deeper and deeper, and at some point soon it's going to be too late already. So
yeah, and real quick, I think that's a good point. It's how I started post-game. I mean, 1 or 2 losses or 3 losses, but now you start getting to 5 and it just feels slippery, right? Like 5 can easily turn into 7 if you don't grab it right now on this road trip. Easier said than done, I know, but it's that sensation right now of trying to have traction on something and not being able to so far.
We're going to start in practice tomorrow.
Do you feel like, there's a lot of new guys in here. Do you feel comfortable enough to speak up?
No, and the guys aren't the problem at all. Like, I can tell you that this group is very, very close. Great guys, and everybody's getting along with everybody else really well, but we haven't been able to translate that, onto the ice. And we gotta figure it out fast.
Why do you think you haven't been able
feel
to
that urgency right there?
Closeness onto the ice.
Well, the biggest thing is that we haven't played 60-minute hockey game yet. I think today and the Chicago game, the first 20 minutes were great. And then in the second period, we drop off. Obviously, there's a pushback. You gotta expect a pushback. If we play like we played in the first period against Chicago, and we played the first period we played today, you gotta respect them as an opponent and be ready that they're gonna talk about it in the intermission, that they're gonna come out and they're gonna stare you in the face, and they're not gonna give it to us. Like, we can't expect that they're gonna give it to us, and that's how we play right now. And it's just not cutting it. Yeah.
How do you build? I mean, the goal that you scored was basically you brought it in along the dash, you forward all around, you got the shot, you circled around. How does that translate to shift after shift? Like, how can other teammates get inspired by that?
I don't know how they can get inspired. We all know how to play the game. Obviously, there's not a lot of confidence right now. Let's
honest.
face it. I think there's a lot of guys in here that would like to score a little more than they are right now. And I think the best way to, when you're in a face like that, is to get to get greasy, like to to get dirty, and we have to play just more aggressive. And let's face it, we're not gonna blow out teams out there. You know, we're not gonna score 5-6 goals every game. So we got to figure out how we start winning games when we score 2 or 3 goals, and that's what we got to focus on. Play to our strengths, and we're not. If we're trying to be somebody that we're not, then we're not going to have any successes there.
Nico, Mike walked into the hallway. I don't know if he came in here, with a message for you guys or not.
I mean, it's National Hockey League. We don't need a coach or a GM to tell us what. Like, everybody should know where we're at right now. It's not juniors or college where you need somebody to motivate you. Every year you gotta feel like you're taking a step forward, and we wanted to turn the culture around here, and so far we haven't done anything. So you own 5. I don't think you need Quinny or Mike to come in here and motivate any guys. I think at the end of the day, play like this, play for your job. So should be motivation enough.
Wow, there was wow. I'm going to tell it to you here on the live stream too. Let me turn the volume down. I apologize if I was super loud there. I did not mean to do that. I had to adjust the volume up a little bit so you could hear that. But then we'll let you hear the rest in this David Quinn interview in just a second. But look, I appreciate the honesty of... Sorry, I'm just trying to cue this up here. I appreciate the honesty of an incoming player who is new to the organization and just coming off a Stanley Cup win. And as he mentioned, he's just not accustomed to losing. And he feels comfortable and confident enough in his own skin to just basically say this. Now, does whatever he said, does it help anything? I don't know, but it certainly helps us as people outside the room. It helps us understand like what's really going on and a sentiment and a frustration and to see the picture a little bit more clear. Let's also now, I'm going to let you hear what David Quinn had to say, his first comments, and he didn't really hold back tonight either.
We're a very fragile group right now, as you can see.
Wow.
You're up 1-0, and you don't have a great second period again, but you make it 2-2, and then give up another goal at the end of the second period. And once you're in the cycle we're in, it's hard to get out of it, and it's going to take a lot of work physically and mentally to get out of the situation we're in. And it's just it's frustrating.
As Nico, what his experience has been like so far, he said it sucks. Can you lean on the guys who have been here for a long time, and the guys that just got here? How do you sort of...
Well, you lean on everybody, but obviously the guys that have been here, and obviously when you're 0-5, I hope he says it sucks, because it does suck. I mean, it's a result-driven business, and, we're just not getting it done. And, we got a lot of work to do. We've been together less than a month, so it's not going to happen overnight, but we certainly got to buckle up and do a better job in a lot of areas.
Is the first step for the...
All right, you don't need to see... hang on, volume adjust. Okay, we're back to normal. You don't need to see Brownie and Brody there anymore. But anyway, again, I apologize for maybe the quality of that clip, video quality, but hopefully you could hear everything that was said there. I just thought those two interviews were super refreshing, exactly what you want to hear. There's a little bit of a pissed off nature right there. And I bet you if we went through the Sharks room, if you talked to Logan, if you talked to Timo or Erik Karlsson, any player, I mean, they would feel the exact same way. But it for whatever reason, it feels good to see that and to understand and to let that translate. I wish they were talking about something different, but that's where they're at right now. And at least that's what's coming across. Special teams for this team have been amazing, huh? You think about the penalty kill remaining, knock on wood, perfect so far this year. And they're drawing power play opportunities. Another 3 more tonight, which is actually kind of on the low side of where they've been. They've been getting 3, 4, and 5 power play chances per game. 19 total through 5 games. And they scored once on the man advantage. Just a rough time scoring this season. Even if you get to 3 tonight, I realize you allowed 5. I totally understand. But if you score first, what if you score the second one? Instead, the Islanders equalized it. Or what if you get to a 3-2 lead entering the final period? Can you hang on to that? That's another problem. No third period goals. You can draw a picture. Like you literally, I'm going to do it here on my paper. Like first period, second period, third period. Now, don't mind the fact that, oh, look at that coffee stain right there. By the way, this is getting ugly. It's like the game starts, decently up high. The second period, there's a huge hit. And then honestly, third period, it should just be a flat line right here. There's just nothing going on in third periods where you need it most. Hard to explain. What's the rhyme and reason behind this? There might be none. But it's happening over and over. It's becoming a trend. It's becoming an unfortunate situation for this team. And yeah, it doesn't get any easier playing the Rangers on Thursday night. And after that, you get the Devils and Flyers on a back-to-back. So if Saturday doesn't go well, by the way, it's a 9:30 a.m. pregame show on Saturday. So, the whole body clock issue on Saturday, and then a quick turnaround against the Flyers on Sunday. This is a difficult road trip, but this is one where you got to come back home with a victory. And think about this. It'll be considered a successful trip if you can get 2. But the problem is you need to get 2 out of the next 3 now after losing tonight to the Islanders. I am ready to take some comments, and I understand maybe, how the sentiment is going to be here. Let's go right to Eric. Sturm for captain. By the way, I literally have to tell my brain every time I say Nico Sturm, I have to say, don't say Marco. You know what I'm saying? It's a muscle memory in the brain, even from all those years ago. Nico, not Marco. Tony says, Sharks fans have to stop hasty judgments and let this team develop a new chemistry. It'll take over 30 games to create a new team identity. It's a slow evolution. Impatience sucks right now. I agree with you, Tony. And I think there's 2 things going on. Some fans, the casual fans, and not largely any of you watching because you're here on this stream, so you are dedicated to a large extent. But some casual fans will look at the team and say, wow, Couture, Vlasic, Carlson, Timo, Hurdle, like this is the same Sharks team as yesteryear. But quite honestly, the franchise, like if it was a car under the hood, it looks a lot different. It might still be a teal car by color, but what powers it, what makes decisions for it, the systems in it, totally different than it was last season. But I also want to say, and to your point, it's not going to be where this team starts that everybody will remember or that's important. Quite honestly, it's how this team finishes by the end of this season. And by the end of this season, they may look a lot different with Eklund, with a Bordelot, with a Ryan Merkley. And let's hold our horses in thinking that those are all season saviors or franchise saviors. To your point, like this is a growth process, and it is going to take that time. I think for any of us, we understand it is a new era of Sharks hockey, but that new era, I don't want to say starting from scratch, but that new era has some serious things to figure out still. So I think that's where we find ourselves, and the process is interesting, and the future gets more interesting. And do I think they've already deserved a chance to win a game? Probably. Not necessarily tonight. I think the second and third games, against Nashville and against Carolina, okay. Against Chicago, nope. Broke down defensively against the Islanders tonight, nope. Didn't deserve it. And the first game against the Preds, nope. So 5 games they've been into, they've been well out of 3. I really just think that it's one of those deals right now where you got to get to that first win to kind of get that weight off your shoulders and let everybody breathe. And then some of the goals are going to start to happen. And Timo's going to score a hat trick in Game 7. This, what you're seeing right now is not the full scope of reality. It is part of the story of where they're at, but I think we can all agree this is not 100% who the Sharks are or where they're at right now. Okay? That's my feeling. Tim says, I've been with the Sharks since 92. If I could survive that season, I can get through any season. Oh, man. How about the PK? Yeah, again, I've said it. It's amazing. If you could take some of those PK percentage points and move them over to the power play, you definitely do it. 4 games we've scored first, we've lost. Yes, that is true. Sharks allowed the first goal in game 1. Since then, they've been the team scoring first every single time, and usually in the first period. Triple G, the fourth line, Gadjevich, Sturm, and Svechnikov were the best line tonight by a long shot. That was said, that was established, that is fully co-signed right there, Triple G. And you heard it in the Sturm interview. He was asked about his line. They just play simple. They're not trying to dangle anybody, is what he said. Just big bodies going to the net. Look how the goals were scored. Basically second chances. The quest for 0-82. Come on. Nobody's going to survive that. Here we go again. Bring on Bedard. I know what you meant. I know that's a spelling typo, but I'm going to do a whole separate video on Connor Bedard. That needs to be discussed. What if I told you, right? What if I told you that I think Connor Bedard is not the savior you're hoping for? I know somebody's going to save this clip and then play it back when he's, all world in a couple of years in the NHL. No, but I'm serious. Like, I'm just extremely curious. He's 17 right now, just turned it. He'll be 18 by next year. He's going to get drafted first overall. Somebody's going to take him. Is he instantly on an NHL roster at age 18? How does that go? First off, to win the NHL's lottery pick, right? To win the number 1 lottery pick, that takes some luck. So there's going to be other teams in that. How many years does it take him to fully evolve and develop? And how about this? Let's talk about another Connor. Connor McDavid in Edmonton, one of many, many Edmonton early draft picks over the years. How many cups have they won since then? It's honestly only been recent years that they've even figured things out. How many cups have they won? I mean, yeah, and who wouldn't want a Connor McDavid, but who wouldn't want a Sidney Crosby? I totally understand, because those are the comparisons right now. Let's be realistic here. I'm not trying to over exaggerate. I'm just saying that if you think that is going to fix the problem overnight and get you to where you want to be overnight, no, that's not it. Brody, but what if he is? Was that, I don't know if that was was that a comment to Bedard? No one player can save it. It's got to be a team. Well, we never know. We thought Shane Wright would be first overall, and he was third or fourth. I'm pretty sure that Bedard is going first. Let's go Islanders and let's go Sharks. You must have been so conflicted. Bedard would be the basis, though, like Crosby was. Edmonton is a good goalie away from making the finals. Edmonton was like 5 defensemen away from making the finals after what? Taylor Hall and RNH and Eberle and that, all the different varieties of that team over the years. They always had silky forwards, nobody on defense, and you're right, goaltending probably the big deal there. I'd like to say thank you to Ryan for being here, number 1, and number 2 for being in the super chat. I really do appreciate that. I just saw that pop up, so if it was earlier, I apologize. Is the drop pass to set up the power play becoming too predictable? Seems like they spend too much time without many shots on goal. I hadn't thought about it, just in a simple way of breaking it down like that. Yeah, I mean, it's weird though, Ryan, because too predictable. They're only 5 games into the season. They're only 19 power play opportunities into this season. It's one thing if you had always been doing that and that was always your staple or your calling card, or, I'll go back to this. It was kind of like back in the day, the Sharks on the power play, get it back out to Bernsey, have Bernsey fire off a one-timer, and have Joe Pavelski right out front to tip or redirect or get the rebound. And in a sense, that was predictable because the Pittsburgh Penguins, they extinguished that. They shut off the point shots from Bernsey, which essentially kept Joe Pavelski quiet in the Stanley Cup final. So, yes, clearly possible to be predictable, and that hurts you, and other teams can take advantage of that. I'm just saying here in this season, of course they're doing pre-scouts. Of course they're looking at every power play and zone entries and where the shots are coming from. So it's no secret, but if other teams, if they're doing it that much already and other teams are latching on to that already, I'm just saying there may not be a great enough sample size. And that's the other part of this too. If you've drawn up a power play and some systems that you thought you'd like going into this season, do you scrap them already after 5 games? Do you let it ride a little bit? How about even as simple as lineups, line mates, power play units? Like, how much do you switch up from a personnel perspective, as much as a strategy perspective? So, look, great question, and I wish I had a good answer or some answers. Wish the coaching staff had all the answers, but this one's been kind of a hard one to figure out. I saw another comment here, but I'll do Maddie's because I just saw this one too. On a brighter note, you should totally check out the Barracuda this season. This team is good on paper. They're 2-0 on the road against the Iowa Wild, by the way. Oh, you saw that. Home opener is Saturday. Can't wait for the 22nd. Truly a big night down there at TechCU Arena. By the way, on our pregame show on Saturday, we'll have a full behind-the-scenes tour of TechCU Arena. C6 Sammy, you are tripping. You are tripping. AJ, welcome to the stream. The Sharks are the only team. AJ, why doesn't your avatar pop up here? Only team with a negative goal differential with the man advantage. Special teams trend are an extension of last season. And that's kind of the thing. A lot of stuff we've seen is a stretch from last season. I like Cunning's start to this year. I like what Sturm has now done, scoring goals in 2 straight. But I would agree, it's not worlds different than it was last year. Fry wondering if it's possible that David Quinn can lead the Sharks to the Stanley Cup like what DeBoer did in 2016. Look, DeBoer took over a totally different beast that was tuned up in a totally different way. It's an unfair ask. Let me see if I thought there was a couple. Thought there was a couple more here, but maybe that's going to be it. Worried that our top 2 lines aren't scoring, hoping it's just a matter of time until the dam breaks and the top guys start putting it in the back of the net. And I mean, you had between Hurdle and has this chair been here the entire time, by the way? I normally move everything out of the way. Look, you had 3 guys who led your team who did basically 60 to 70% of your scoring. That, Logan's got a couple, Hurdle's is just the 1 so far or 2, and Timo is scoreless. So again, I'm just here to say that of the 5 games and the way things have gone, is it a complete picture of who the Sharks are? No. Is it telling the stories of some of their struggles? Yes. So better things to come, hopefully sooner than later. And on that note, I just want to say thanks to everybody for being here on the old Sharks Night Shift live stream. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget, while you're here, should I do it now? Yeah, I'll do it now. All the social channels, subscribe if you don't or haven't already. I would really appreciate that. And that's how I will leave you. So, thanks again for watching. And I will see you and talk to you again soon. Specifically, we'll do another live stream on Thursday night after the game. All right? Take care, everybody.